Hey there, and welcome to the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast. My name is Andrew Rusnak. I'm the founder of Charlotte Content Marketing. We are in the banking capital of the South, the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, the growing metropolis, North Carolina. I am a Charlotte native, by the way. I was born and raised in Charlotte. I've lived around the Southeast a good portion of my life, but I spent most of it in the Charlotte area. And then, like the prodigal son, I left, swore I would never come back to the Carolinas, and now I am a wiser gentleman, and I love the Carolinas, man. I really do. I actually, we live right south of Charlotte, right across the line in Lancaster County, in South Carolina, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I've been around the country. I've lived in other places, and man, I love the Carolinas. I love where we're at. I love the people, and yeah, so I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. So I am happy and honored to serve Charlotte along with the other fantastic partners we have here at Charlotte Content Marketing and the wonderful clients that we partner with in order to raise visibility and reach new customers, building, fostering, furthering customer relationships. That is what we do at Charlotte Content Marketing using content marketing. and yeah, so we love that. And I'm appreciative of you tuning in. If you are listening on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, check us out on YouTube, where you can see my beautiful, shining, smiling face on camera. And if you are watching here on YouTube and you don't want to see my beautiful, smiling face, but you still want to get all of this information, all of this useful, helpful information, because that's what it's all about. It's about helping people, right? And so if you want to listen to the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast on Apple, Spotify, etc., you can subscribe to us there. You can also find us on socials, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. Yeah, I think that's it for now. We don't do TikTok. I don't personally care. It doesn't fit in with our content plan. So I'm not saying that TikTok is bad, but I'm saying that for us, it doesn't serve a purpose. But for you, it might. And so if you want to get in touch with Charlotte Content Marketing, we can talk about that and see if that aligns with your content goals and your larger overall marketing strategy. So I've got kind of a hodgepodge of things to talk about today. And then kind of one main point that I'd like to get to. The main point, I'll go ahead and spoil it now, is should you appear in your own ads, commercials, videos as a business owner? And we'll get into more of that in a bit. But, that one's been on my mind a lot lately because, I see a lot of ads, particularly on social media, in which business owners or their employees or team members of the business are featured in the commercial. And there's a lot of interesting, sometimes nasty, mean-spirited comments that get left behind, and it always puzzles me that business owners don't don't tackle that stuff and take that stuff down. And so is it even wise to be doing that in the first place? And we'll cover some pros and cons. But so before we get to that, I've got AI news. I need to get like some sort of banner and background music and flashing light for AI news on the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast, because it seems like we always have some AI news, and not all of it is good. The Chicago Sun-Times, I don't know if you saw this, the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper, renowned, vaunted newspaper, put out a summer reading list recently. That's good. Read books during the summer, go to the beach, pitch a tent or an umbrella on the beach, and get your read on. Well, there's only one problem with the summer reading list published by the Chicago Sun-Times. They used ChatGPT to create the list. And in typical ChatGPT LLM AI fashion, it made up a bunch of bullshit. Books that did not exist, it put on the list. Well, since we're in the age of people just saying, oh, well, yeah, well, you know, AI said it, so it's got to be true, they published it. Yeah. So let that be a lesson. These things are not perfect. And if you're just relying on this, if you don't have any type of knowledge about the subject matter with which you are or around which you are creating content, you don't work with the subject matter expert, you're not a subject matter expert, and you're just taking the word of Claude or ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini or any of these others, well, okay. You could be, see, and it's beyond just you're not giving factual information. That's a part of it. That's a big part of it, right? But then there's the idea that Google works off of consensus. And there's a lot of back and forth about this, and there's not straight documentation on it, but the SEO community has done research. I've seen plenty of people bring this up, that there needs to be consensus in what you are publishing. So if a million people say the sky is blue and you put out some content that says the sky is green, no matter how well written your content or how developed or how professionally produced it is, you are likely not to get surfaced in search results because you are against the consensus. So, aside from you're going to look incredibly stupid and untrustworthy, I'm just being honest, you're gonna come off as untrustworthy and foolish by publishing nonsense that isn't true or doesn't exist in the case of the summer reading list. But you could get dinged in search results. And, you know, that's a problem because, yeah, you can say, all right, well, traditional search is dying, which I disagree with. But even if that's the case, a lot of these LLMs are still pulling their top results for things from the top results of search engines. I mean, those are already the most visible pieces of content. Those are already the most visible brands, and a lot of times they correlate with one another. And so you'll get the same results in AI mode on Google as you would just in traditional search. So if you're going to put together a summer reading list, a winter reading list, anything reading list, or any other piece of content, and you're going to use AI, I'm not going to tell you not to use AI, but I would double check if you are not a search subject matter expert, or else you could be making the rounds on X, Twitter, there, and everybody could be laughing at you next. So let that be a lesson. In other AI news, I've got a bit of a anecdotal. I gotta grab the phone here. Anecdotal evidence of AI affecting things in real life. So there's a credit union near me. I'm not gonna name it, but you all know Zelle, which is one of those Cash App type things, right? I think you can use it to buy stuff, send money, whatever. So this person on Facebook posted to a local group, does blank credit union use Zelle? I was looking on the app and I couldn't find it, but when I Googled it, Google says it does. But I know Google screws up. So I was wondering, am I just overlooking it or do they not use it? Well, the fact of the matter is that this particular credit union does not use Zelle. But Google AI mode was saying that it does. So as you can tell, that could really screw up a person's day if we're talking about finances. Now, Google for years has been this whole your money, your life topics. So anything with finances, health, things that could be dangerous, whatever. They've been very, very careful about that and had special rules about how they handle that kind of content in search rank. And apparently that has gone out the window. So just this is anecdotal. However, it's a real world example of how the content that you're putting out online does have the power to possibly screw up someone's day, maybe screw up someone's finances, and think about how that's going to affect your brand reputation and how that could possibly lead to legal action. I mean, but that could really harm your reputation, and that could take a long time to recover from. So, once again, just a quick example of how AI generated content, AI stuff on the web is not there yet. And I've been saying that for 3 years, and I'm going to continue saying that until proven otherwise. So just be careful with what you're putting out there and do your research before you start copying and pasting. That's all. But so, all right, let's get to the meat and potatoes here of the topic discussion. So I mentioned this earlier. Should you appear in your own ads, commercials, whatever? Now, I say that as I am on camera, I am talking right now. A lot of our, partnerships are with remote professionals and stuff. So I don't have people right here in the office to take over this kind of stuff for me. We did have Jody Depp on last podcast, and she gave some phenomenal advice about personalization. So if you missed that one, check that out and make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode in the future. But yeah, so I'm doing this here, and I don't consider myself photogenic or that I'm some wonderful presenter or anything like that. But I like the personal touch, warts and all. Okay, so I'm not a polished professional speaker, but I do speak from the heart and I do speak from experience. And I feel like for our brand at Charlie Content Marketing, that represents who we are and what we do and how we interact with clients and how we try to help our clients interact with their customers. Again, I say building, fostering, furthering. That's our tagline because that's what content marketing is all about, and that's what we're all about is helping our clients build, foster, and further customer relationships. Now, that being said, maybe not everybody feels comfortable in front of a camera, and maybe not everyone feels comfortable in front of a microphone, and that's okay. Not everybody is going to, and whether it's talking in a situation like this where you're on camera or whether it's public speaking. I mean, public speaking is like known to be one of the biggest fears out there. I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I haven't spoken in public in quite some time, but yeah, I don't know that I would be too comfortable getting up in front of a crowd and speaking myself. But some people are good at it, and some people are not, and that's okay. If you are not the type of person who is comfortable on camera, then I would just say, well, either don't do it, or work on techniques to help you feel more comfortable. Because it is nice to have a representative from the business on camera. I mean, actors, actresses are great, but when you have someone who's real and genuine, that's a good thing too. And I mean, these days you constantly see companies, brands using cell phones and doing quick little videos and stuff. And if that's the vibe you're going for, then more power to you, and do that. Um, but my main issue is not so much the whole thing about whether you feel comfortable in front of the camera, and whether you look natural, and whether you're comfortable on camera, or whether you freeze up and look all nervous and stuff. It's that when you put your team members or yourself, but I'm talking more about putting team members, employees, on camera, you're opening them up to scrutiny when you're putting these things online. And I'm talking more specifically about social media, but this could be YouTube, and honestly, it could be something on your brand's website, and somehow it gets picked up and goes viral, and people just make a copy of it off of your website and start passing it around YouTube or social media or whatever, with their own insightful little comments about people's looks, about the way someone speaks, about people make racial comments. People make comments about gender. People make sexual comments. I mean, just all kinds of stuff like that. So, and if you've spent any time online, I'm sure you've seen this. And so, is it fair to your team members to do this? And then, how should you handle it if these comments start coming in? So I would say, I mean, from my point of view, you don't want to you don't want to have a conversation with an employee or a team member and say, "Hey, look, we'd like to put you in our ad that's going to be seen, all across Facebook." And we just want you to know that people are probably going to tear apart your looks, and they're going to make fun of your voice, and they're going to have all kinds of nasty comments about the way you're dressed, or, any number of things. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, it's not a guarantee. You might have nothing but positive comments. I don't know. But you are opening the door to the internet when you put things on the internet. And if you've spent any time on the internet, then you know how the internet can be. And unfortunately, that's not all sunshine and rainbows. A lot of the time, it's trolls and memes. And so anyway, but so we kind of touched on the pros of having a personal connection with your customers or your audience. But then, so how do you handle it if comments start coming in? I would recommend, before you even put an ad online, know how to either moderate the comments, turn off the comments, or know how to delete the comments before you put it online. Because it may be too late after you put it online to go back in and say, "Oh, wait a second, I didn't know that I could delete these comments," and they've been sitting there tearing apart, one of your poor team members for the last 3 months or something like that. So know ahead of time what your options are, and if there are no options to get rid of comments or turn off comments, you may want to rethink your plan. Unless you have a team member with really thick skin, because some people can say some awful things. And, I've seen companies delete ads because apparently they didn't know how to turn off comments or delete comments. And then they reposted the ad, and the same commenters from the original ad migrated somehow over to the new ad and started now tearing the company apart along with the person appearing in the ad for taking down the ad in the first place. And so now they just doubled down and made the problem worse. Um, I'm not saying that hiring actors and stuff like that is the way to go, but I will leave you with this. So if you're going to appear in your own ads, or if you're going to have a team member appear in your own ads, plan the stuff out ahead of time. Before the stuff goes online, run it through various people and have them give a thorough critique of things. Get some people that you trust who are going to be honest with you and who are going to look for places where you may be able to edit stuff in such a way or replace things or switch things out so that you don't run into a situation where the comments are going to come in fast and furious. Um, I would also say to take your time where possible and plan things out in a way that you don't leave the door open for innuendo. You don't leave, unless that's what you're going for. You don't leave the door open to innuendo or, saying weird things, jargon, stuff like that that could be misconstrued in a way that you didn't mean it. Because again, the nature of the internet is that there are people who just live to troll and tear people down and stuff. And so, I wouldn't discourage you from appearing in your own ads, but at the same time, I would caution you that if you're going to do it, be able to moderate the comments or have a very thick skin, but keep up with those comments, because if they get too bad, that can affect your brand. And if you're not doing anything about it or taking comments down, and also one last thing. So responding to comments, this is another one that I see all the time. If comments do come in and they're not atrocious, but they're negative, don't get into a comment war, a flame war in the comment section. Don't do that. Just reply professionally and let it go with that, because the damage is already done, and now people who read these comments are just waiting to see how you respond, and they're sitting there with their popcorn just waiting for you or your social media manager or whoever to pop off in the comment section at somebody who left some negative remark. And so just don't play that game. Don't get sucked into it, because they're doing it on purpose. These people who are leaving comments, they want you to engage with them. And I would strongly suggest not doing that. I would say, if you want to contact us, here's our email address, or, thanks for watching. Feel free to reach out to us at whatever email address. Don't respond in kind, because that's just going to make things 10 times worse. And the the more you reply, it's like there's a correlation between the more you reply and the higher your chances of becoming a viral meme for the wrong reasons. They tend to go up. So don't do that. But if you're finding that you're just not able to manage your video ads on Facebook, or you're just looking for help getting together some brand showcase content for YouTube or other places on the web, Charlotte Content Marketing would be more than happy to help. Book a discovery call with us, and we can have a chat and see if we're the right fit for you. And even if we're not, we can recommend some other solutions to get you where you need to be. So you can give us a call at 704-323-6762. Of course, you can visit us online at charlottecontentmarketing.com. You can email us at hello@charlottecontentmarketing.com. And as mentioned earlier, we are on social media, and we would love to connect with you on there. So I know that today, this episode has just been kind of like a bouncing around kind of episode, but it was something that I wanted to address, and it's been on my mind for a while, and I haven't found a way to work it into previous topics. And then we had a guest last time, so I figured this would be a good time to broach the subject and just caution against throwing employees to the wolves, so to speak, on the web by including them in video content and then just hanging them out to dry when weird, mean, upsetting, sometimes disturbing comments start coming in. So, but I want to thank you so much again for tuning in to the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast. Once again, my name is Andrew Rusnak, and I will catch you in the next one.